let us introduce you to the king of all Filipino breads.
Pandesal!
Literally translates to bread of salt. But unlike that name, it's actually on the sweeter side, which is so Pinoy to sweeten things up. Mabuhay! Welcome to Plantastic Feast. I'm Erica.
Plantastic Feast. I'm Lizzie. Yeah!
So today we're sharing a version of this recipe that we've been perfecting because I wanted to taste the pandesal of my childhood. The kind that my lolo brings back home from his early morning walks. This is a Filipino staple for breakfast and merienda. The first few batches tasted great, but I wasn't very satisfied with the softness. I had to keep pushing, so here we are. The recipe is very simple, no eggs, no dairy, and it gets you that soft, pillowy texture that Filipinos look for. Plus, I want to share the tips and tricks that I learned so that you can make this right every time. Tara!
Tara!
Luto tayo!
Luto tayo!
All right. Let's see. Let's do half cup water, half cup milk. A trick that I like to use is actually aquafaba, which is just the water from a can of chickpeas. So you just take that, pour it in here, and then fill it up to 1 cup so that your liquid is a total of 1 cup. You can do aquafaba and water or aquafaba and milk, or like I'm doing right now, it's just water and milk to simplify this recipe. But I've learned that using chickpea water makes that pandesal really, really soft. So we're gonna do a cup of liquid. You gotta pour it to 1 cup, okay? Okay, 1 cup or 8 ounces. And then we're gonna heat this up. I'm gonna heat it up for, let's say 30 seconds in the microwave. Yeah, we pretty much don't want the yeast to die. So if it's too hot, the yeast can die. If it's too cold, the yeast won't activate. So we have to make sure it's just the right temperature. If you can put your hand in there for quite a long time, that means it's just the right temperature. If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for the yeast. You can do a packet of active dry yeast. If you're measuring like me, that comes out to about 2 1/4 teaspoons. 1, 2, and about 1/4. There you go. And we'll put a tablespoon of sugar to feed the yeast. I also like adding 3 tablespoons of oil. Just any neutral flavored oil will work.
Can I mix it?
Sure. Now everything's all kind of just mixed. We're gonna let this bloom. So let's leave it for 10 to 15 minutes and we'll come back to that, okay? Let's put it on the side. While we're waiting for the yeast, let's measure out. By the way, we're gonna use a mixer for this. You can knead it manually, but it takes a long time and it kind of hurts my arm. So I wanna make this as easy as possible for me. That's 400 grams of flour. Okay, now let's do sugar. And we'll do 80 grams. Really? I mean, that is it. We just need to mix all of this. Let's bring the mixer up in here. And we'll put it in the mixer. Voila. Got my dough hook. Very important to use when you're making any breads and kneading it. There we go. And let's just give it a quick mix right now. We'll just mix it up, make sure the flour and the sugar are well incorporated, although she has done that already. And the thing about using the mixer with the kneading, make sure you don't put this up too high and too fast. That can actually affect the texture of the bread. So I'd say don't put it higher than number 2. Sometimes it has a label that says kneading, just keep it there. And now let's get our yeast that has been activating. It smells very yeasty. And that's how it should look like. And it should have that bubbles The more bubbles it has, the better. That means it's more activated. So make sure that you do that. I have done bread before and I was like, oh, it looks kind of activated, but it wasn't. And bread just didn't rise. I wasted all that time. So make sure that you gatekeep what this yeast looks like and make sure it's properly activated. Okay, now let's add it on.
Can you?
Yeah, sure. You don't have to try to mix the side. Here, it's gonna incorporate all of that flour on its own as it's kneading. See, it's already incorporating it. I did not touch this at all from earlier. 6-minute mark. So it cleans the bowl. Wait. Let's oil our hands first before we handle it, okay?
Yeah.
Here. Just a little bit of oil, just so it's easier for the dough to handle the dough. And I'm also gonna oil just around the bowl here, like so. So it should be very, very soft and smooth. That is key. There shouldn't be any cracking. We're gonna put all that crinkle on the bottom so it'll rise nicely like a balloon. And then we're gonna just put this in the bowl. So this recipe is very easy. It's just a lot of waiting. We're gonna cover it so it doesn't dry out. And then we're gonna put it in the oven to bread-proof for 1 hour. Now we'll take this guy. We're gonna measure it and we're gonna cut it into 16 pieces, okay? Let me cut it in half first. You wanna cut it in half?
I don't have oil on my hands.
That's okay, you don't need oil in your hands right now.
Where's your hands shiny?
Because this has oil, and so my hands have oil. So, and then we'll cut it in half. If you don't want to measure it, just cut it into 16 pieces. Just cut half.
I don't want to cut it.
You want to cut it? Okay, you get your knife. So you need to make a perfect little ball like this. Just imagine like a little tiny balloon. You know, the bottom can be not that pretty, but the top, make it nice and smooth. That way it'll rise nicely. There we go. You can put it in here, the ones that are done. But I'm gonna redo this, okay? Make sure it's nice and smooth. This one's perfect. Oh, hi, love. Are you watching me? Since I got a baby situation, Maisie is gonna show you how to put breadcrumbs. So she's just putting the dough into the breadcrumbs, shaking it, make sure it's all covered.
If you don't have breadcrumbs, you can do panko breadcrumbs. We do have into the blender, and we make pandesal. Sometimes, but it's kind of pandesal is food. Like we like pandesal.
We'll let it rise for 1 more hour. Okay, so ta-da! Now that I got it out, I'm gonna preheat the oven at 375 and we're gonna bake it for about 18 to 20 minutes. Just make sure the tops are very lightly golden brown. So my favorite ways to eat them. Ooh, look how soft that is. Maisie loves cheese in the pandesal. This is too big. This is just a BioLife cheese. Here, it's yours. I also like putting spam in pandesal. Spamdesal.
Kain na.
Kain na. I also like dipping this in coffee. The bread really soaks in the coffee really well. And then the cheese and the bread is just an explosion of flavors. There's a lot of flavor contrast that goes really well together, like the saltiness of the cheese and then the sweetness of the bread. And then I have sugar in this coffee, so the sweetness of the coffee too. Goes just really well together. You can still dip it in the coffee even without the cheese. So tell me, what did you eat your pandesal with when you were growing up? Or which way do you want to try it if it's your first time having it? Do you want it with butter or cheese, or do you want it dipped with coffee? Drop it in the comments. I want to know what floats your boat. And here's a tip to keep it fresh. For storage, the trick is to make sure it's cooled down and then to place it in an airtight container. I've had it last for about 3 to 4 days in here, if it even lasts you that long, because we down these like chips. You can't just have one. Anyway, when you want to eat it, you can just reheat it in the toaster oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 minutes, and it's just like fresh again. High five! Ang galing mo.